Danielle sat stiffly on the edge of the couch, hands pressed together, trying to understand why her parents had called her so urgently. The living room felt colder than usual, and something in the air told her this wouldn't be good. Her mother, Patricia, took a deep breath, straightened her shoulders, and spoke like she was announcing a simple household decision. Your sister deserves the house more than you. Hand it over. Danielle blinked, thinking she heard wrong. What? Melissa, her older sister, sat back in the armchair, legs crossed, a small satisfied smile on her face, like the house already belonged to her. She looked Danielle up and down with lazy confidence, as if waiting for her to surrender. This isn't funny, Danielle whispered. Her father leaned forward. It's not a joke. Your sister needs stability. She's starting over. You should help her. Danielle felt her heartbeat in her ears. I bought that house with my own money, after years of saving. Her mother waved a hand, dismissive. Oh, don't be dramatic. Family supports family. Melissa has been through a lot. And you, Melissa said sweetly, you're strong. You'll be fine anywhere. Danielle stared at her sister. Melissa had always been the favorite, beautiful, messy, always in some kind of crisis, yet somehow always rewarded. Danielle had worked hard her entire life, but right now none of that seemed to matter. Her parents continued talking, piling words on top of each other. You're too independent. You don't think about others. You forgot what family means. You should be grateful we raised you. Danielle tried to speak, tried to explain how much that house meant to her. But every time she opened her mouth, someone cut her off. They didn't want to hear her. They wanted her to obey. Then her father delivered the sentence that knocked the air out of her chest. You don't even need a house. You're not married. You don't have a family. Danielle felt something break inside her. She stood up slowly, holding back tears. I'm not giving you my house. Her mother scoffed loudly. So selfish. Melissa rolled her eyes. Unbelievable. Danielle grabbed her bag and walked out before they could say another word. The cool air outside hit her, but it didn't calm the shaking in her hands. She felt small, betrayed, and painfully alone. She couldn't understand how the people who were supposed to love her could say such things. Inside her car, she finally exhaled and pulled out her phone. There was only one person she could call. Pierce. Her voice cracked. I need help. Her lawyer, attorney Pierce Harper, listened as she explained everything. Every word, every accusation. When she finished, he didn't respond right away. There was a long, strange silence. Then he laughed. A short, surprised, almost amused laugh. And that laugh changed everything. Always the responsible daughter. Expected to be the strong one. Danielle learned early that no one was going to save her from anything. She grew up understanding that if something needed to be done, she would be the one doing it. If there was a problem in the house, she was the one who solved it. If her parents needed help, she was the first person they called. And if Melissa caused trouble, which she did often, Danielle was the one expected to clean it up. Danielle didn't complain. She simply learned to survive on her own. She worked hard in school, pushed herself through every challenge, and never allowed herself to break. When money was tight, she worked her way through college with multiple part-time jobs. She stayed up late studying after long shifts. She skipped parties, skipped holidays, and even skipped sleep just to keep up. She built her life piece by piece, without asking for help, because she knew no help would come. Meanwhile, Melissa lived a completely different life. Melissa was always the center of attention, glamorous, charming, dramatic, and constantly in crisis. Their parents adored her. They excused everything she did, no matter how irresponsible or reckless. When she dropped out of school the first time, they said she was finding herself. When she dropped out the second time, they said she was too creative for traditional education. When she spent money she didn't have, they called her expressive. When she dated toxic people who hurt her, they said she was a romantic. No matter what mess Melissa created, the parents defended her. And no matter how much Danielle achieved, it was never enough to earn that same affection. Danielle grew used to the imbalance. She stopped expecting equal treatment. She focused on her own path, building a life that wasn't tied to their approval. That's what led her to her proudest moment, buying her own home. It wasn't a mansion. It wasn't fancy. But it was hers. A modest, beautiful 3-bedroom house with soft morning light in the living room, and a quiet backyard where she could breathe. Walking inside felt like stepping into a space where she finally mattered. It was peaceful, warm, safe. Everything her childhood home wasn't. To Danielle, the house wasn't just property. It was freedom. It was independence. It was the proof of her strength and her struggle. Her job as a data analyst wasn't easy either. It paid the bills, but it drained her. She dealt with constant deadlines, demanding bosses, and long hours in front of screens. But she stayed because she needed stability. She needed the income to keep her home. She needed something solid in her life. But even with a stable job in her own house, Danielle carried an emotional heaviness she couldn't shake. She was tired. Tired of being the responsible one. Tired of always being the backup plan. Tired of being ignored until someone needed something from her. She was tired of standing strong for everyone else while no one stood for her. She had tried to set boundaries before. It never worked. Her parents accused her of being ungrateful or disrespectful. Melissa laughed it off like Danielle was joking. So Danielle learned to stay quiet. She learned to swallow her feelings and keep moving. But inside, the cracks were growing. This house, her house, was the first thing in her life that truly belonged to her. The first thing she didn't share, didn't know to anyone, didn't have to fight Melissa over. Losing it would break her. It would take away her safety, her peace, and her hard-earned dignity. If the house was taken from her, it wouldn't just be a property loss. It would be a message. You don't get to have anything of your own. And that was something Danielle could not accept. She had spent years giving, helping, supporting, and holding everything together. For once, she wanted something for herself. Something no one could touch. But her family had never cared about her boundaries. And now, without warning, they had set their eyes on the one thing that meant the most to her. The house that symbolized her freedom was suddenly the target of their demands. And Danielle knew one painful truth. If she didn't fight for it, no one else would. Parents and Melissa show up unannounced at Danielle's house one quiet Saturday morning. Danielle is still in her pajamas when she hears the doorbell. But before she can even reach the door, it swings open. Her father steps inside like he owns the place, followed by her mother, and then Melissa, who walks in with a bright smile as if she's touring a home she already bought. "Hello," Danielle says, confused. "You can't just walk in." Her mother waves a hand. "Oh please. We're family. We don't need permission." Before Danielle can argue, Melissa is already walking around, touching things, peeking into rooms, and judging everything loudly. "Oh, this will be my room," she says, stepping into the second bedroom without hesitation. "The light here is perfect for my makeup videos." Danielle stands there stunned. "What are you talking about? You're not moving in." Melissa ignores her and walks into the kitchen. "This kitchen needs remodeling," she says in an annoyed tone. "But it's fine. I'll fix it once I settle in." Danielle feels her chest tightening. Settle in where? This is my house. Her parents exchange a look, and then step toward her like they're about to deliver a lecture she can't escape from. Her mother folds her arms. "Danielle, we already discussed this. You need to prove you're a good sister. Melissa needs a home. You can give her this one." Danielle shakes her head in disbelief. "No. I never agreed to that." Her mother continues as if Danielle didn't speak. "Women should help each other. And Melissa needs this more than you. She's struggling." Her father nods, putting on a serious expression. "You're stronger, Danielle. You'll be fine anywhere. You always land on your feet. Melissa doesn't. So I should be homeless?" Danielle asks, voice cracking. "You're being dramatic," her father snaps. "It's just a house." "No, it's my house," Danielle says firmly. "I worked for it. I worked hard for it." Her mother's eyes narrow. "We didn't raise you to be selfish." Melissa reappears, leaning against the doorway with a smug smile. "Come on, Danielle. Don't make this ugly." Danielle's hands begin to shake. "I said no." Her parents' faces change instantly. Her mother gasps loudly, as if Danielle insulted her. Her father frowns deeply, disappointment dripping from his voice. "So this is who you are now," her father says. "Shameful. So disrespectful," her mother adds. "Ungrateful." Melissa mutters under her breath. Their voices get louder, sharp, accusing. They talk over her again and again. "You're embarrassing us. You don't care about family. You think you're better than us now. We need this more than you." Danielle steps back, overwhelmed, heart racing. She pulls out her phone without them noticing and begins recording. She needs proof. She needs someone to understand how real this is, because no one ever believes her side of the story. Her father gets inches from her face. You will give her the house. No, Danielle whispers, tears filling her eyes. I won't. There is a long, tense silence. Her mother shakes her head in disappointment. You've changed, and not in a good way. Her father turns around abruptly. Let's go. Clearly she's lost her mind. Melissa gives Danielle one last cold smirk before following them out. When the door finally closes, Danielle sinks onto the floor. The house feels too quiet, too heavy. Her whole body is shaking. She can't stop crying. She feels angry, betrayed, scared, and exhausted all at once. Her chest aches like she's been punched. For the first time, the home she worked so hard for feels like a battleground. After several minutes of trying to breathe, she remembers the recording. She pulls out her phone and plays it back, hands trembling. Hearing their words again hurts even more, but she knows she needs help. With wet eyes and an unsteady voice, she calls her lawyer. Pierce, they came to my house again, she says. I recorded everything. I need you to hear this. She sends him the audio. Her life, her peace, her home. Everything is now at risk. And Danielle knows the fight has only just begun. Attorney Pierce listens, then laughs again. Not a mocking laugh, but a surprised one. The kind someone gives when a problem is far easier than expected. Danielle, he says gently, they have absolutely no legal claim to your home. None. They can't take your house. They can't move in. They can't force you to give anything. Danielle closes her eyes, feeling a small wave of relief wash over her. But the relief doesn't stay long. Because her problem isn't just paperwork or documents. Her problem is emotional. Her family never needed the law to hurt her. They only needed their words. And the pressure begins almost immediately. First come the phone calls. One in the morning. One during her lunch break. One in the evening. Every time she rejects the call, another one appears. Then come the messages. Long emotional paragraphs from her mother. How could you treat your sister like this? Melissa has nothing, and you have everything. You're her sister, not her enemy. I didn't raise you to be this cold. Her father sends short, sharp texts. Fix this. Stop embarrassing us. Answer your phone. Danielle tries to ignore them, but they keep coming. And then Melissa jumps in. She starts posting online, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, smiling and talking about finally moving into her new house, thanking her amazing family for helping her through a hard time. Danielle sees the comments. So happy for you, girl. Your sister is so sweet for giving you her house. Family first. Danielle feels her stomach twist. It feels like the whole world believes a lie. Soon, relatives she hasn't spoken to in years begin calling her. Why are you being difficult? Your sister needs support. You're doing well in life. Share a little. You're the younger one. You should respect your elders. Every call feels like a punch. Every message feels like guilt being poured on her shoulders. Danielle can't sleep. Her mind repeats the same thoughts. Maybe I am being selfish. Maybe I don't deserve the house. Maybe I should have kept quiet. She starts waking up in the middle of the night, heart racing, replaying every childhood moment when Melissa was praised and she was ignored. Every time she worked hard and Melissa took the spotlight. Every time her feelings were brushed aside. At work, she can barely focus. Her hands shake when she types. She misses deadlines. Her manager calls her in. We've noticed a drop in your performance, he says. Is everything okay? She forces a smile. Just personal issues. Fix them, he replies. Soon. Danielle walks out of the office feeling even smaller. But her parents aren't done. One afternoon, they arrive at her house again. This time bringing her Aunt Regina, a woman who always believed she knew best. Aunt Regina stands in the doorway, shaking her head. Danielle, I am disappointed. Your sister is struggling, and you're acting like a stranger. Danielle tries to explain, but the aunt keeps talking and talking, lecturing her about family duty, about sacrifice, about being a proper woman. The next day, her parents return again. This time, they bring their pastor. The pastor places a hand on Danielle's shoulder and says, "We need to pray the selfishness out of you." Danielle steps back, stunned. "I'm not selfish. I'm protecting what I worked for." Her mother sighs dramatically. Look how she talks to God's servant. Danielle's eyes fill with tears. Please leave. But they don't leave until they have said everything they wanted. Every guilt-filled sentence, every harsh word, every attack on her heart. When they finally walk out, Danielle closes the door, locks it, and sinks to the kitchen floor. She cries until she can't breathe. She cries until the tiles feel cold under her legs. She cries because the house, once her safe place, now feels like a heavy, painful reminder of everything they want to take from her. She curls up, holding her knees, whispering to herself, why are they doing this? Why isn't anything ever enough for them? Later that night, she calls Pierce again, voice weak and tired. I feel like I'm losing my mind, she says. You're not, he replies. You're being manipulated. Start documenting everything. Every call, every message, every visit. Danielle wipes her eyes. Why? Because emotional abuse leaves marks too, he says softly. And I'm going to protect you. Something shifts in Danielle then. It's small but real. She begins writing things down. Saving screenshots. Recording messages. Keeping a record of everything. Each time she documents something, the fear inside her grows a little smaller. And something else begins to grow. A quiet, steady strength. She looks around her house, at the walls she painted, at the furniture she bought, at the home she built with her own hands. No, they weren't going to take this from her. They weren't going to break her again. For the first time in a long time, Danielle feels a spark of resolve. She will not lose her home. Not to guilt. Not to lies. Not to family pressure. This time, she will stand her ground. And she will not bend. Parents and Melissa show up again. This time holding a stack of printed documents. They don't knock. They don't wait. They walk into Danielle's living room like they already own the place. Her father slams the papers onto her coffee table. Here. You agreed months ago to gift this house to Melissa. We have the proof. Danielle looks at the papers, confused. What are you talking about? I never agreed to anything. Her mother crosses her arms. Don't lie. You said you wanted to help your sister. We wrote everything down. Danielle picks up the top page and freezes. There is a signature at the bottom. A messy, shaky scribble that is supposed to look like hers. But it doesn't. Not even close. This isn't my signature, she says quietly. Melissa rolls her eyes. Oh please. You're just embarrassed because you changed your mind. Danielle's heart starts pounding. Her fingers tremble. She doesn't argue anymore. She grabs her phone and calls her lawyer. Pierce, they're here again, she says. And they brought fake documents. Fax them to me. I'm on my way, he says. 20 minutes later, Pierce arrives. He walks in calmly, carrying his briefcase like he already knows exactly what to do. He greets no one. He simply asks, "Show me the papers." Danielle hands them over. Pierce sits down, pushes up his glasses, and starts reading. The room goes quiet. Her parents watch him nervously. Melissa taps her foot. After a long minute, Pierce leans back and looks at them. This, he says slowly, is fraud. Her mother gasps. How dare you? He raises a hand. The signature is obviously forged. The dates don't match any legal timeline. And your agreement isn't notarized, witnessed, or legally binding in any way. Her father steps forward. We know what she said. Pierce cuts him off. It wouldn't matter if she said it. Words are not contracts. And you have zero legal claim to this house. Melissa's face tightens. She promised me. Pierce turns to her. Even if she did, which she didn't, Danielle is under no obligation to give you property. The parents start arguing, talking over each other, trying to defend themselves. Pierce lets them talk until they run out of excuses. Then he delivers the final blow. Also, he says, flipping through another page from his folder, Melissa owes money. A lot of money. Melissa stiffens. What? Pierce continues calmly. Multiple lenders, unpaid loans, late fees, and collection notices. If her name is added to this property, the house becomes vulnerable. It can be seized to pay her debts. Danielle feels her stomach drop. Her parents stop breathing. Pierce looks directly at them. You knew this. No one speaks. No one moves. Danielle feels something inside her shift. The heartbreak turns into clarity. All this time they weren't trying to help Melissa. They weren't trying to teach Danielle about family. They wanted a house to hide Melissa's financial mess. Suddenly Melissa screams, voice cracking, eyes wild. You think you're so perfect. You were always the strong one. Everyone compared me to you. You made me look weak my whole life. Danielle steps back, shocked. Melissa, I never tried to. Yes, you did. Melissa yells. You studied. You worked. You bought a house. And what about me? I'm the older sister. I'm supposed to have more. But you always take everything. Her mother tries to calm her. Her father tries to defend her. But the truth is already out. The room explodes into chaos. Accusations, yelling, old resentments, things Danielle never knew they felt. Her mother blames Danielle for making Melissa insecure. Her father says Danielle should have shared more. Melissa cries, screaming about how life is unfair. Danielle finally raises her voice. Enough. Everyone stops. She looks at them, her parents, her sister. And for the first time, she doesn't feel small. You don't get to take from me just because you failed at your own life, she says. I worked for this house. I paid for it. I built my life alone. And you wanted to destroy it. Her voice shakes, but it's strong. This is over. Pierce closes his briefcase. I'll be filing a complaint. You're not to contact her again without going through me. There is nothing left to say. Her parents, pale and speechless, walk out quietly. Melissa follows, wiping her tears, avoiding Danielle's eyes. The door closes behind them. The silence left behind feels heavy, but clean. For the first time in a long time, Danielle feels something real. Freedom. Blocks her family for a month. Danielle deletes their numbers, blocks messages, and ignores calls. For the first time in years, she creates space between herself and the people who caused her so much pain. It's quiet. It's lonely at first, but it's also freeing. She starts therapy. At first, it feels strange to talk about everything. The favoritism, the lies, the constant guilt trips. But slowly, she begins to understand how her parents and Melissa manipulated her emotions. She learns that setting boundaries is not selfish, that saying no does not make her a bad daughter or sister, and that protecting herself is sometimes the bravest thing she can do. Her lawyer finishes the final documents, making it impossible for anyone to claim her house in the future. Danielle breathes easier knowing her home, her sanctuary, is legally safe. She begins to make the house truly hers. She paints the walls the colors she loves, rearranges furniture, hangs pictures that make her smile. Every corner of the house starts to feel like a reflection of her life and her choices. She adds plants, soft rugs, and personal touches she never allowed herself before. Slowly, the weight of fear and guilt lifts. Her parents call once, trying to apologize. Their words are soft and careful, but they don't really acknowledge what they put her through. Danielle listens politely, but she doesn't engage beyond necessary politeness. She knows some apologies are empty. She keeps her boundaries, and for the first time, she feels powerful for doing so. Melissa goes online, posting dramatic videos and stories about being wronged by Danielle, how she deserved the house, and how Danielle betrayed her family. Comments pour in, people taking sides, and some relatives continue to gossip. But Danielle doesn't respond. She doesn't argue. She doesn't give her sister any more power over her emotions. She watches quietly from a distance, smiling when the truth eventually shines through her calm strength. Alone in her home, Danielle realizes something important. She is stronger than she ever knew. She doesn't need their approval, their praise, or even their presence to feel complete. The strength they always demanded from her was inside her all along. For the first time, she wakes up in her house feeling peaceful. She makes breakfast, drinks her coffee in the sunlight streaming through the windows, and feels no fear that someone will take it from her. She laughs at small things. She hums while cleaning. She takes time for herself without guilt. Danielle understands that her happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. It comes from her choices, her independence, and the life she built with her own hard work. The house is more than a home now. It's a symbol of her courage, her resilience, and her freedom. Being alone doesn't feel lonely anymore. It feels like living on her own terms. She realizes she doesn't need the shadow of her family to define her. For the first time, she feels fully, completely, and unshakably herself. Danielle sits alone in her living room at sunrise. The soft light fills the room, painting the walls with warm colors. The house is quiet, peaceful, and for the first time in a long time it feels safe. Her phone buzzes. It's a message from her lawyer. She opens it and reads, "Everything is officially closed. Congratulations on protecting your life." A smile spreads across her face. Relief floods her chest, followed by pride and a strange, light feeling of freedom. Tears slip down her cheeks, but they are tears of joy, not sadness. She leans back in the couch, letting the morning sun warm her face. Whispering to herself, she says, "This home is mine and so am I." For years she had felt trapped, used, and ignored. She had carried the weight of others' expectations, guilt, and judgment. But now, sitting here in her own space, she finally feels whole. She realizes she doesn't need anyone's approval or love to feel worthy. She has fought for herself, stood her ground, and won her peace. Danielle closes her eyes and breathes deeply, feeling the calm around her. The house, once a battleground, is now a sanctuary. She thinks about her family, the lies, the manipulation, the favoritism, and knows she doesn't need to hold on to that pain anymore. She has survived, she has protected herself, and she has grown stronger. A soft smile stays on her face as she thinks the truth quietly to herself. Sometimes you have to lose a family to find yourself. And in that moment, Danielle knows she has truly found herself, free, strong, and finally at peace. Hey friends, thanks for watching all the way through. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing stories. See you next time.